You've crossed the Rubicon into the lands of opportunity.
Welcome to Red Brick Rubicon, the place for the PolyU community to get out of their books for a moment and engage in social activities, make friends, and learn a thing or two from the real world. Thank you for joining us today. I am Ileana, a fourth-year mechanical engineering student, and with me is John. Hello, John.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm here on behalf of the ELC, and I'm wondering what's the topic of this episode?
So today we're going to be talking about something that's very interesting for students, social life for students on campus and in Hong Kong. And to evaluate, we're going to do it in a very interesting way. We're going to talk about the GBUs of social life.
So what's the good, the bad, and the unknown about
Pretty smart
life?
for a teacher, John.
Oh, thank you.
It's a great episode for anyone who's curious or wants to know more about what's going on in the local community or, social opportunities.
That sounds cool. And I guess I heard you have some student guests.
I do. We have some people in the studio today. First up, we have Scott.
Thanks for having me here. So I'm Scott. I'm currently a final year student with the Faculty of Business. I'm born and raised in Hong Kong, been here my whole life. And something I'd like to talk about is the social scene in Hong Kong. Even after COVID, it's not as dead as most people might think.
It's still alive and kicking.
Still alive and kicking. And one part many people overlook is the nightlife in Hong Kong. Mm-hmm. There are many clubs, and there are many different types of clubs where you can go to meet different people. If you want to just dance to music, there's that too. Mm-hmm. And there are clubs that cater to different types of music, different genres.
So what are some clubs that you recommend to people?
Sure. So if it's a Saturday night and you're in the mood for hip-hop, rap, you can go to Dragon Eye.
So all the bad music, that's where you go, Dragon Eye, okay.
Music is subjective. I tend to like Dragon Eye because they do hip-hop. But of course, there's also clubs that do electronic music, dance music, house music. Just to name a few, Boomerang, Shuffle, Department & Co. Mm-hmm. They're all in the Lan Kwai Fong area. That's where pretty much all the bars, all the clubs are. And you can go there on a Friday night. They're usually closed actually on a Sunday night. But go there on a Friday night, Saturday night, you're good to go. Yeah.
LKF, do they maybe have any country clubs? Because I think John might prefer those.
Yeehaw! As I've gotten wiser in my older years, I've appreciated country music more and more. Mm-hmm. I mean, come on, Johnny Cash.
Yeah, that guy.
Relatable. It's very relatable.
The name of the club you gave was Dragon Eye?
Dragon Eye.
That's one of your favorite ones? Okay.
Yeah.
Considering how much Hong Kong people, Asians in general, love food, I think a great name for a club would be Club Sandwich.
Oh my god. Okay, let's move on. So, Scott, I've heard about this thing called Wan Chai Wednesday. Have you heard about it? Is there anything you can tell us about it?
Yeah, so right next to Central, you have an area called Wan Chai, and Wan Chai also happens to have a lot of bars, pubs. However, for some reason, on Wednesday nights, the bars would often have a special promotion, special events. There's one that really stands out.
Sorry to interrupt, but
yeah,
this is for students.
Definitely.
Mostly. Okay.
So yeah, on Wednesday nights, while you might find a professor marking essays, you will also find a bunch of exchange students lined up at a place called Carnegie's. Mm-hmm. It's supposed to be an Irish pub, but on Wednesday nights it becomes sort of a club. People, they play pop music, all kinds of music there.
Taylor Swift?
Actually, yeah.
Because I love me some Taylor Swift.
They play a lot of Shake It Off on Wednesday nights. And yeah, you can go there if you want to meet exchange students. I've met exchange students from all over the world, not just exchange students in PolyU, but in other universities in Hong Kong as well.
That does sound cool. Listen, thanks, Scott, for coming in today and sharing some great opportunities for students to get out and about, make new friends from different universities, from different nations, burn some calories dancing, clubs, especially on Wan Chai Wednesdays. But a word of caution, when you are out and about at night, dance carefully.
Well, if you're not careful, we could end up on LKF Meltdowns, which is an Instagram account that films people at LKF melting down because of all the partying. And, well, Danny's here to talk about how people in Hong Kong might actually really enjoy watching that.
Hey guys, I'm Danny. Thanks for having me. So, one thing that I don't really like about Hong Kong is the Schadenfreude. People will literally pop a champagne for people's failure.
So it's different than being envious of somebody else's success. This is being happy about their failure.
Yeah,
Is that-
just about,
Okay.
when something bad happens to someone else. It could be your colleagues, your classmates, your friends, or even some celebrities.
So this seems like a pretty common trait. Why among anybody, any city? Why do you think it's more prevalent in Hong Kong?
So, there are 3 types of Schadenfreude: aggression, rivalry, and justice. And I think aggression is the most prevalent in Hong Kong because Hong Kong people are really stressful and they actually see each other as enemies and they don't want to see other people to be successful. They just want to hate on each other and don't want to see other people be more rich or just look better than themselves.
Why do you think people in Hong Kong are more stressed then? Where does the aggression come from?
I think that it's the social media because social media plays a huge role in our daily life, and it encourages social comparison, which makes the aggression and the envy even worse in Hong Kong.
One of my students, I think, is going to get published in the PolyU undergraduate journal of writing, Inscribe, and she, I think, talks about this in her article Side Eyes, about the stress from the fast pace of Hong Kong. So it seems like you're both on the same wavelength here.
That sounds very true. I've seen it in Hong Kong. People, they are very stressed. In fact, recently there's this bus that has a 15-hour journey that you can just get in and sleep in. And the whole point of the bus is that you just sleep in it because of how stressed Hong Kong people are. They can't sleep. And this bus helps them do that. What do you think about that initiative?
Well, I don't know anything about buses.
Well, now that you have the mic, John, why don't you tell us a little more about what your good, bad, and unknowns about Hong Kong are?
Well, students here at PolyU. They're great.
Okay.
They're absolutely great in the classroom. But I do have one thing I'm confused about.
Okay.
So it's my own unknown. 2024, my students are still wearing masks in the classroom, and I don't know why.
Why does that bother you?
Well, it bothers me because it makes their learning less effective. It makes my teaching less effective. I teach communication courses. And if you know anything about communication, which I'm sure you do, a lot of it comes from nonverbal feedback.
Mm-hmm.
Also, so I can't tell if my students easily, if they're understanding something or not. The masks muffle the sound. I can't see their lips to help me understand what they're saying when their pronunciation is really poor. And I also have a suspicion that one reason might be to wear the mask might be something to do with being insecure or shy about something.
Do you think that's so wrong that they want to be a little hidden?
For their own development, yes. I don't think there's any clinical psychologist alive who would say the way to handle an insecurity or a shyness or a fear is to avoid it. It's actually to face it little by little. And I can't say anything to my students in the classroom because it's already a dangerous learning environment because it's second language for them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering if PolyU should think about a rule. I'm not a rule guy, but
Well, I doubt they'll do that, but you can definitely have a very strong suggestion at the beginning of your classes. And with that, we are at the end of this episode. Thank you, Danny and Scott, for coming in today. And thank you, John.
pleasure's mine. I learned a lot about all the social activities I'm not invited to.
Well, then you'll really look forward to the future episode, also using GBUs, where we're going to talk about student services and clubs that you're also not invited to.
Excellent.